You know what the problem is with most people in business today? They want success, but they don't want the suffering that comes with it. They love the idea of being a CEO until it's 3 a.m. and the world is sleeping, and they're the only ones awake, fighting to keep their business alive. Let me tell you this, business doesn't reward dreams. It rewards discipline, execution, and consistency. You know what separates those who talk about success from those who actually live it? It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's not even opportunity. It's sacrifice. Everyone wants success, but almost no one wants the pain that comes before it. Everyone loves the crown, but no one wants the bruises that come from wearing it. People look at successful entrepreneurs and say, they're lucky. No, they're not. They just paid a price you weren't willing to pay. Let me tell you something real. Success has a cost, and the invoice always comes due. You can't cheat your way to the top. You can't microwave mastery. You can't skip the struggle and expect to keep the reward. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you've earned. Every successful business person you admire has a story filled with sacrifice, missed birthdays, sleepless nights, rejected deals, lonely mornings, and a million moments of doubt. They didn't stumble into success. They sacrificed their comfort to build something that mattered. You see, most people want the glory, but they don't want the grind. They want the result without the responsibility. They want the lifestyle without the labor. But the truth is, every breakthrough demands a breakdown first. You don't rise in business because it's easy. You rise because you've learned to keep going when it's hard. Because when everyone else quits, you keep building. When they sleep, you strategize. When they complain, you execute. That's the difference. The successful are not superhuman. They're just sacrificial. They've learned to let go of temporary pleasure for long-term purpose. They've learned that the price of freedom is discipline. You can't have both comfort and greatness. One has to die for the other to live. If you want success, stop chasing balance and start chasing purpose. Because balance sounds nice, but purpose feeds your soul. Think about it. When you start a business, you're not just selling a product. You're selling your time, your peace, your energy, your weekends. You invest pieces of your life into something that doesn't guarantee a return. That's the ultimate risk. That's real entrepreneurship. You're playing a game where there's no paycheck waiting on the first of every month. Your reward depends entirely on your resilience. And that resilience comes from the willingness to sacrifice. Let me give you a hook you'll never forget. Success is expensive and the currency is pain. Every decision you make costs something. Sleep, peace, energy, relationships, or comfort. The question is, which are you willing to give up? Because until you make that decision, you'll stay stuck between desire and discipline. The truth is, there will come nights when you question yourself, when you wonder if all this effort is worth it, when you see others enjoying life while you're still grinding in silence, and that's when most people give up. But that's exactly when the game begins, because success doesn't test your desire when things are easy. It tests it when everything hurts. You have to learn to say no. No to distractions, no to mediocrity, no to anything that doesn't align with your purpose. Discipline is saying no to what's comfortable so you can say yes to what's meaningful. People will tell you, you've changed. Of course you've changed. Growth demands evolution. The version of you that starts the journey can't be the same one that finishes it. And you know what's funny? The same people who laugh at your sacrifice today will one day ask how you did it. They'll call it luck, but you'll know it was blood, sweat, and sleepless nights. You'll remember the times you had to keep going with no applause, no validation, no recognition, just faith. That's what sacrifice feels like. It's lonely, it's exhausting, and it's often misunderstood. But it's also the most powerful investment you'll ever make. People think success is glamorous. It's not. It's dirty work. It's failure after failure. It's rejection emails, long flights, empty rooms, and moments when the world doubts you. But through all that, one thing must remain: your willingness to keep paying the price. Because one day the world will pay you back, not with sympathy, but with respect. You have to decide, do you want a comfortable life or do you want a meaningful one? Because you can't have both. The comfortable life gives you security, but the meaningful life gives you legacy. The comfortable path keeps you safe, but the meaningful one makes you significant. Every time you choose purpose over pleasure, you build power. Every time you choose sacrifice over shortcuts, you earn success the right way. There's a line I live by. You can't become extraordinary while doing ordinary things. If you're not willing to go further, stay longer, and work harder than everyone else, don't expect to lead them. Leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about being willing to do what others won't. So the next time you feel tired, remember this: exhaustion is a sign that you're building something. The pain you feel today is the foundation for your power tomorrow. Every sleepless night, every failed deal, every hard decision, they're not breaking you, they're shaping you. Because success doesn't come to the smartest, it comes to the strongest. The ones who show up after everyone else has gone home, the ones who turn pain into fuel. The question isn't, do you want success? Everyone wants it. The real question is, what are you willing to give up for it? Because until you're ready to lose something, you'll never gain anything. Success is never free, and those who tell you otherwise are selling you lies. So make the sacrifice, pay the price, stay in the game when others leave, because one day you'll look back and realize every drop of sweat was worth every ounce of success. And that right there is the true cost of greatness. Business is not a playground, it's a battlefield. And the enemy is not out there, yet it's in here, it's in your mind, whispering doubts, feeding fear, creating excuses. Every single day you wake up to a war between your potential and your comfort. And let me tell you something, only one of them survives. People love to say, competition is tough. No, competition isn't the problem. Complacency is. You don't lose because someone else was better. You lose because you stopped fighting before the finish line. You see, business doesn't reward ideas. It rewards execution. Everyone has ideas. The marketplace is full of dreamers, but only a few have the courage to act, to fail, to rebuild, and to fight again. Most people want the victory without the battle. They want the reward without the war. But business doesn't work that way. You earn your spot in the market by proving you can survive its chaos, because the market is ruthless. It doesn't care about your feelings, your background, or your story. It only cares about your results. Every morning when you walk into your office or open your laptop or step into that meeting room, you're stepping into the arena. And the crowd is watching. Some are cheering for you. Most are waiting for you to fail. But none of that matters if you've already made peace with the fight. The battlefield of business isn't about destroying others. It's about conquering yourself. Your fears, your laziness, your self-doubt, those are your real competitors. Here's the hook. The most dangerous competitor in your business isn't another company. It's your comfort zone. The moment you get comfortable, you stop innovating. The moment you stop innovating, you start dying. Comfort kills more dreams than failure ever will. And that's why every great entrepreneur you admire is addicted to discomfort. They live in the tension between ambition and fear, and that's where growth happens. I've met people who say, Vusi, I'm just waiting for the right time to start. And I tell them, you're already late. There is no perfect time. There's only now. And the longer you wait, the harder the fight becomes. Business rewards the bold, not the cautious. The ones who charge forward while everyone else is still drawing their battle plans. If you're in business, you need to develop a warrior mindset. That means every setback is a strategy lesson. Every loss is data. Every failure is training. You don't cry about it. You learn from it. You don't sit down and pity yourself. You stand up and re-strategize. Because in this game, emotions are expensive. Every minute you spend complaining, someone else is building. Every second you waste doubting, someone else is executing. People ask me, Vusi, what's the secret to staying strong in business? The answer is simple. Stop taking things personally. The deal didn't fall through because the world is unfair. The investor didn't say no because you're unlucky. It's not personal. It's the game. The faster you understand that, the faster you grow. Business doesn't care about your story. It respects your resilience. The ones who win are the ones who keep showing up even when the market punches them in the mouth. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a boxer in the ring. He's been hit 10 times, bleeding, exhausted, crowd shouting, but he stays in the fight. Why? Because he knows something most people don't. The only way to lose is to stop swinging. That's business. You'll take hits. You'll lose deals. You'll have months where nothing works. But as long as you keep swinging, you're still in the game. The day you stop fighting, you've already lost. Not because the market beat you, but because you surrendered. The truth is, the world owes you nothing. You don't get success because you worked hard. You get it because you won the war. Hard work is the entry ticket. Strategy, resilience, and adaptability are what keep you in the fight. Every time you overcome fear, you sharpen your sword. Every time you survive failure, you build armor. And one day, you realize you're not afraid of the battlefield anymore. You've become built for it. Here's what most people don't understand. Business is not about perfection. It's about persistence. You don't need to win every battle. You just need to outlast everyone who gives up, because the marketplace doesn't reward the fastest. It rewards the most consistent. You can make mistakes. You can fall down. You can lose money. Just don't lose momentum. When I started in business, I learned quickly that people respect confidence, not comfort. If you walk into a room uncertain of your value, the world will price you like a discount. But if you walk in knowing you've paid your dues, fought your battles, and earned your scars, you command the room, because scars tell stories. Scars say, I've been through the fire and I'm still here. So, when you face those hard days and the days when nothing seems to work, when your team is losing faith, when your vision feels blurry, remind yourself this is part of the battlefield. You don't retreat, you recalibrate, you don't hide, you hunt, you adapt, you learn, and you come back sharper. Because business isn't about avoiding the fight, it's about mastering it. And here's the final truth. Business will break you before it builds you. It will test every ounce of your patience, your courage, and your belief. But those who endure, those who keep swinging when everyone else gives up, they're the ones who rise. Not because they're lucky, not because they're special, but because they refuse to surrender. So when you wake up tomorrow and step into your business, remember, this is your battlefield. Show up with fire in your eyes. Show up ready to fight for your dream. Because in this game, victory doesn't go to the smartest or the loudest. It goes to the one who never stops swinging. Motivation is a spark, but mindset is the engine. Motivation can get you started, but mindset is what keeps you going when that spark burns out. And make no mistake, it will burn out, because no matter how inspired you feel today, there will come a time when you wake up tired, frustrated, and questioning why you even started. That's when you find out what you're really made of. The winners aren't the most motivated, they're the most mentally disciplined. They don't rely on feelings, they rely on structure, vision, and consistency. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Motivation is seasonal. It comes and goes. It's like the weather. Some days the sun shines, some days it rains. But mindset is permanent. It's the climate that determines whether your business thrives or dies. You can't build a lasting empire on temporary emotions. You need a mindset that says, I'll show up regardless of how I feel, because the market doesn't care if you're tired, inspired, or confused. It only responds to your execution. People love watching motivational videos, reading inspiring quotes, or listening to success stories. And that's fine. Motivation feels good, but let me give you a hook that changes how you see it. Motivation makes you feel ready. Mindset makes you unstoppable. You don't win because you felt like it. You win because you acted on it. You can't wait for inspiration to knock on your door. You have to train your mind to perform without it. The real entrepreneurs, the real players in the game, they don't wake up excited every day. They wake up disciplined. They wake up focused. They wake up prepared. You'll never hear a world-class performer say, I didn't feel motivated, so I skipped today. That's not how champions operate. Champions don't need to feel like it. They just do it. Because consistency builds confidence, and confidence builds success. Let me tell you what kills dreams faster than failure. Emotions. You feel inspired one week, you start something, it gets hard, motivation fades, and you stop. Then you wait to feel motivated again. That's the loop most people live in their entire lives. Starting, stopping, restarting, quitting. The difference between you and the greats is not how much motivation you have, but how well you operate when you have none. A strong mindset doesn't wait for the right conditions. It creates them. It says, even if I'm tired, I'll show up. Even if I failed yesterday, I'll try again. Even if no one believes in me, I'll keep moving. That's power. That's what separates the entrepreneurs who talk from the entrepreneurs who build. Because anyone can talk about vision, but only those with a strong mindset can turn vision into victory. The truth is, mindset is a muscle. You don't wake up with it, you build it. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, it grows stronger. Every time you take action instead of making excuses, it grows tougher. Every time you keep your word to yourself when no one's watching, it grows more powerful. And just like any muscle, it only grows through resistance. That means the pain you're facing right now is not punishment, it's training. It's preparing your mind for the weight of success you're asking for. You want to build a great business? Train your mind to love the process, not just the prize. Because motivation makes you chase the prize, but mindset makes you respect the process. Most people fail not because they don't have the skill, but because they can't handle the silence. Those months when nothing seems to work, when no one's clapping, when results are invisible. But that's when your mindset is being built. That's when you're developing endurance. That's when the world is asking, how bad do you want it? I've met entrepreneurs who had incredible ideas, powerful teams, and endless potential, but they crumbled under pressure. Why? Because their mindset wasn't ready for the fight. Success requires mental armor. You have to be able to handle rejection, criticism, and delay without losing focus. You can't build an empire with a fragile mind. You need a mind that says, try me. A mind that doesn't break when the world says no. Here's the reality. Motivation might get you in the door, but mindset keeps you in the room. Everyone starts with enthusiasm, but only the mentally strong finish. Motivation is loud, but mindset is quiet. It's the quiet decisions, the unseen sacrifices, the daily routines that no one notices. That's where success is born. It's in the mornings you wake up early, the nights you stay focused, the times you push through boredom. That's not motivation, that's mindset. Let me tell you something most people don't understand. Feelings are unreliable. If you build your business around your emotions, your business will collapse the moment you have a bad day. But if you build it around principles, focus, discipline, patience, it will stand strong no matter what comes, because principles don't change with the weather. The reason the top 1% keep winning isn't because they're smarter, it's because they think differently. They've trained their minds to stay calm under chaos. Where most people panic, they plan. Where most people quit, they adapt. Where most people see obstacles, they see opportunities. That's mindset. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about controlling your response to it. You can't control the market, the economy, or your competitors, but you can control your perspective. So the next time you feel demotivated, remember this: it's okay. You're human. You're not supposed to feel on fire every day. But that's where the real test begins. When motivation is gone and the only thing left is discipline, that's when the great ones are born. Because motivation is easy. Mindset is earned. And if you can train your mind to keep moving forward when your emotions beg you to stop, there is nothing you can't achieve. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common: an unshakable mindset. They've mastered the art of staying consistent when others collapse. They've learned that greatness isn't about intensity, it's about longevity. You don't need motivation every day. You need mental toughness that refuses to quit. Because motivation might give you a good start, but mindset gives you a strong finish. Feelings are fragile, but systems are strong. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs work when they feel inspired. Professionals work because it's time. Motivation is emotional, but systems are mechanical. They don't care about how you feel. They just demand that you show up. And that's the secret most people miss in business. You can't build an empire on emotion. You build it on systems, structures, and discipline that perform even when you don't. Here's the truth. Emotions are temporary. Systems are timeless. The reason most businesses fail isn't because the idea was bad, but because the operator was inconsistent. One day they're excited, the next day they're tired. One week they're all in, the next week they've disappeared. You can't scale inconsistency. If your business depends on your mood, it will die with your emotions. But if your business depends on systems, it will survive even when you don't feel like showing up. Let me give you a hook you'll never forget. Successful people don't rise to the level of their feelings. They rise to the level of their systems. That's how real entrepreneurs operate. They don't wait to feel ready. They build habits that make readiness irrelevant. They know that emotions can't be trusted. One bad day, one failed deal, one harsh word from someone, and your emotions can collapse. But systems don't care. They're consistent. They're automatic. They keep producing even when you're broken. When you look at the greats in business, sports, or leadership, you'll notice something. Their performance looks effortless, not because they're always motivated, but because their systems are bulletproof. They've trained themselves to act without thinking, to deliver without hesitation. That's not talent, that's design. You can't rely on adrenaline forever. At some point, you need architecture, a framework that keeps you moving forward when motivation runs dry. The problem with most people is they confuse being busy with being productive. They wake up and do whatever feels urgent, not what's important. But systems give structure to chaos. Systems ensure that even when your emotions are messy, your results remain consistent. That's how you scale success, not by adding more feelings, but by adding more structure. Think of it like this. Your emotions are the weather, but your systems are the climate. You can't control the rain, but you can build a roof. You can't stop bad days from coming, but you can build habits that protect your performance from them. A system is your roof. It shields you from the storms of your emotions. Let me tell you what real professionals do. They schedule success. They don't rely on luck, they rely on their calendar. They have morning routines that set their tone, daily checklists that guide their execution, and review systems that measure their progress. Because what gets measured gets managed. You can't improve what you don't track. The moment you start running your business by emotion instead of metrics, you've already lost control. Every entrepreneur needs to understand this. Your systems define your ceiling. You can only grow to the level your systems can sustain. That's why when people suddenly become successful, they often fall apart. Not because they didn't deserve the win, but because their systems weren't ready to handle it. You can't pour success into a structure that leaks discipline. Here's another hook. You can't trust your feelings to build your future. Your feelings will lie to you. They'll tell you you're tired when you've barely started. They'll tell you it's not working when results are just around the corner. They'll convince you to stop when you're inches away from breakthrough. But systems keep you honest. They don't argue. They don't negotiate. They remind you of your commitment when your motivation forgets. The truth is, building systems isn't glamorous. It's repetitive. It's boring. It's not the highlight reel people post about on social media, but it's the backbone of every lasting success story. The routines, the schedules, the planning, the process, that's what turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. People want excitement, but champions want consistency, and consistency only comes through systems. You need to become the kind of person who has rules for your ambition. That means you have standards that don't change based on mood. You wake up at the same time, you execute your plan, you review your numbers, you study your industry, no matter what happens. Discipline isn't punishment, it's protection. Systems protect you from yourself, from your laziness, your excuses, your distractions. I've seen it too many times. Talented people who never built systems end up burning out. They rely on inspiration, but inspiration runs out. Systems never do. Systems carry you when you're tired. They hold you accountable when you drift. They save you when life gets messy. That's why success isn't about intensity. It's about consistency. You don't need to be motivated every day. You just need a system that forces you to show up every day. You want to know how professionals keep winning even after failure? They have recovery systems. When things go wrong, they don't spiral emotionally. They analyze, adjust, and execute again. Because systems turn failure into feedback. Emotion turns failure into identity. That's why systems are more powerful. They keep you logical when life gets emotional. Here's the reality. Motivation might get you started on Monday, but what happens on Wednesday when the excitement fades? Systems take over. When you're tired, your systems remind you of your plan. When you're unmotivated, your systems make you move. When you're uncertain, your systems provide clarity. That's how the best keep performing at a high level, not because they're constantly inspired, but because they've engineered discipline into their daily life. So if you want to scale your business, stop asking, how do I stay motivated? And start asking, what system can I build to make motivation unnecessary? Because the secret to consistency is automation, doing the right thing without needing to feel like it. Every checklist, every calendar, every review, it's not boring. It's building your legacy. At the end of the day, your systems are your safety net. They catch you when your energy drops. They guide you when your emotions get noisy. And the more you refine them, the freer you become. Because real freedom in business doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from building systems that let you perform at your best every single day, no matter how you feel. Every dream has a waiting period, that silent, painful stretch between effort and evidence. That's the space where most people give up. Everyone loves the idea of success, but very few have the patience to endure the process. The truth is, success doesn't arrive when you want it. It arrives when you're ready for it. And readiness is not proven in excitement, it's proven in endurance. Every great business, every great leader, every great vision was tested in the dark long before it was celebrated in the light. You see, the waiting season is not punishment, it's preparation. It's where life separates the curious from the committed. Anyone can start something when it's exciting, but can you stay when it's silent? Can you stay when the applause stops, when no one is watching, when nothing seems to move? That's the question that defines greatness, because real growth happens not when you're being celebrated, but when you're being stretched. Here's the hook. The space between your planting and your harvest will reveal your character. When you plant a seed, you don't stand there screaming at the soil, demanding results. You water it, you nurture it, and you wait. And while you're waiting, something powerful happens underground. Roots are growing. You can't see them, but they're building the foundation strong enough to hold the tree that's coming. The same thing happens in business and life. The waiting period is where your roots grow deep, in discipline, in patience, in resilience. Most people want the fruit without building the roots. They want to shine before they're shaped. But the universe doesn't work that way. You have to prove you can handle silence before you can handle success. Because success amplifies who you already are. If you're impatient in the small, you'll be reckless in the big. That's why the waiting season exists. To build your maturity before you meet your moment. Every entrepreneur faces that season. When clients stop calling, when investors go quiet, when the numbers look depressing. And that's when fear starts whispering, maybe this isn't working, maybe this isn't for you. But that's a lie. The lack of results doesn't mean lack of progress. Growth is often invisible at first. Just because you can't see movement doesn't mean there's none happening. Some of the most important work in your life is happening behind the scenes, in your habits, in your thinking, in your persistence. The waiting period tests everything. Your discipline, your consistency, your vision. It asks you, Do you believe in your dream enough to keep working when nothing's working? Most people don't. They quit in the middle. But the middle is where strength is built. The beginning is easy. It's full of energy and excitement. The ending is rewarding. It's full of recognition. But the middle, that's where champions are made, because it's in the middle that you have to fight your doubts, battle your boredom, and trust your process. I always say this: patience is not passive. Patience is power under control. It's not sitting still, it's standing firm. It's continuing to show up, continuing to improve, continuing to believe, even when the world gives you no reason to. That's the kind of patience that produces legends. Most people confuse waiting with wasting. But if you're growing, if you're learning, if you're developing, you're not waiting, you're building capacity. Let me give you a truth that might sting. If success came too early, it would destroy you. The waiting period protects you from unprepared success. It gives you time to strengthen the skills, the mindset, and the humility you'll need to sustain what's coming. Because it's one thing to achieve success, it's another thing to keep it. And keeping it requires character. The waiting builds that character. Every overnight success you see took years of unseen effort. People only notice the explosion. They never see the ignition. They see the reward, not the repetition. They see the recognition, not the rejection. But behind every overnight success are years of waiting, wondering, and working without applause. That's the real story of success. It's written in silence long before it's spoken on stage. You must learn to find peace in the process, to stop obsessing over when the breakthrough will come and start mastering who you are becoming while you wait. Because if you become the right person, success has no choice but to meet you. You attract the level of success you're prepared to handle. So while you wait, prepare. Build better systems. Sharpen your skills. Strengthen your mindset. Waiting doesn't mean do nothing. It means do the right things consistently until the results align. People who lack patience destroy opportunities before they mature. They dig up seeds before they grow. They move on too fast, chasing the next shiny idea without realizing that success is not built by movement. It's built by momentum. Momentum comes from staying long enough to build depth. A tree doesn't grow taller by changing soil every week. It grows tall by staying rooted. The same is true for your vision. Stay planted. Here's another hook. The silence between effort and success is not the end of your story. It's the test of your faith. The silence is asking, can you believe in what you don't yet see? If you can, you're dangerous, because belief in the dark is what builds power in the light. The longer you stay consistent in the waiting, the stronger your foundation becomes, because the waiting period is where discipline transforms into destiny. It's where you learn emotional control, where you develop clarity, where you sharpen your hunger. The waiting season humbles you, but it also hardens you. It prepares you for the weight of success you've been asking for. One day, the seed you planted will break through the soil. People will see it and call it a miracle. But you'll know it wasn't a miracle. It was the result of patience, faith, and unseen effort. Because every great result was once an invisible process. So don't curse your waiting period. Embrace it. Because that's where your roots are growing. And when the storm comes, those roots will keep you standing when everyone else falls. Stop chasing success. That's right. Stop running after it like it's some mystical creature hiding in the forest of life. Because the truth is, success doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to value. Success is not something you chase. It's something you attract by becoming the kind of person it can't ignore. You don't need to beg for opportunity when you've built yourself into one. The goal is not to run after success. The goal is to become so good, so skilled, so disciplined that success runs after you. Here's the hook. You don't get what you want. You get what you've become. The universe doesn't hand out blessings because you wish hard enough. It hands them out because you've earned the right to receive them. The world pays people who are exceptional at what they do, not people who simply desire to do great things. And that's where most people get it wrong. They chase the reward instead of developing the worth. They focus on visibility instead of capability. But here's a fact. If you focus on being valuable, visibility will chase you. You must understand that opportunities are not looking for dreamers. They're looking for doers. They're looking for people who have mastered their craft, who are reliable under pressure, who show up even when they don't feel like it. When you master something, you stop competing. The marketplace begins to compete for you. That's why the greatest power you can develop in life is not popularity, it's mastery. When you become excellent, the world notices. When you become consistent, doors open. When you become indispensable, people line up to work with you. Most people live in reverse. They say, once I get the chance, I'll show what I can do. No, that's not how it works. You show what you can do, and then you get the chance. Success never trusts the unproven. It doesn't gamble. It chooses the prepared. And the prepared are those who've spent years refining, training, learning, and sacrificing when no one was clapping. You can't cheat the process. You can only prove yourself through it. You've got to build yourself like a product. Every day, you are either increasing or decreasing in market value. The skills you develop, the habits you nurture, the discipline you maintain, all of it adds to your personal equity. You are your own brand. Ask yourself, if your name was a company, would anyone invest in it? Would they see reliability, innovation, and excellence, or inconsistency, excuses, and potential never realized? That's the mirror you must look into, because success isn't coming for who you are today. It's coming for who you're becoming tomorrow. The world is tired of average. Average doesn't stand out. Average doesn't create legacy. Average doesn't build wealth. You want to be noticed? Then be exceptional. Be the person who delivers more than they're paid for. Be the one who shows up earlier, stays longer, thinks deeper. Because in a world full of noise, the only people who stand out are those who perform at a level so rare that others have no choice but to respect them. You don't demand attention. You command it through excellence. Here's another hook. The future doesn't belong to those who wait for it. It belongs to those who are preparing for it. You can't predict opportunities, but you can prepare for them. Preparation turns luck into strategy. Every great moment you've ever admired, whether it's a business breakthrough, a public speech, a global idea, it didn't happen by chance. It happened because someone prepared long before the spotlight found them. They became the person success was looking for. When you're truly dedicated to your craft, you stop worrying about competition. Because mastery creates monopoly. There's no traffic on the extra mile. Most people give up at average, and that's where the few who persist create domination. You want to stand out? Go where others stop. Do what others avoid. Speak when others hesitate. Build when others complain. Because every act of extra effort separates you from the crowd. People often say, I'm waiting for my big break. But your big break doesn't come until you've proven that you can handle the small ones. The small opportunities are the tests that prepare you for the larger stage. How you handle the small things determines how life trusts you with the big ones. If you cut corners in the small, you'll collapse under the weight of the big. So master your space. Whatever your role, wherever you are, master it so deeply that your excellence speaks louder than your title. Becoming the person opportunities chase means becoming obsessed with growth. Every day you must improve. Every day you must stretch. Success doesn't live in comfort. It lives in the uncomfortable. You cannot attract greatness while staying the same. Growth is uncomfortable because it challenges your limits, but that's exactly what refines your potential. If you're not evolving, you're dissolving. Let me tell you something powerful. When you stop chasing money and start chasing mastery, money chases you. The best in any field never beg for payment. They get paid because they've made themselves indispensable. Their results speak so loud that negotiation becomes a formality. That's the level you should aim for. A level where your performance is your marketing, your results are your resume, and your consistency is your credibility. So stop running after quick wins. Stop searching for shortcuts. Stop begging for validation. Success isn't hiding. It's waiting for you to grow enough to meet it. When you focus on becoming the kind of person success can trust, everything changes. The clients appear, the calls come, the doors open, but none of that happens until you've built yourself into a foundation that can carry the weight of what you're asking for. You want success to chase you? Then become unignorable. Learn more than the average person. Execute faster than the average team. Deliver better than the average company. Be relentless about improvement, because when your work is exceptional, people can't ignore you. Opportunity doesn't pass by excellence. It stops, knocks, and asks to be let in. So here's the truth that separates winners from wanderers. Success doesn't chase potential. It chases proof. And proof is built in the quiet hours of practice, in the consistency of discipline, in the fire of persistence. You are not waiting for your big moment. Your big moment is waiting for you to be ready. The day you decide to master yourself, the world will begin to open its doors. Stop chasing, start becoming. Because the day you do, everything you've been running after will start running toward you.